Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality back with you here today to go over some wonderful stuff in the news, including our FBI just, as you can see from the title on the screen, just standing for one side of the political spectrum, and that's kind of it. So let's go into this. From The Federalist, from May 17th, it's 6 freshly documented instances of systemic pro-Democrat FBI corruption. So, the Durham report contains more evidence that high-level federal intelligence officials see it as routine to put powerful Democrats above the law. This is not surprising. So, article says, former FBI General Counsel Andrew Weissman and others lied to the nation about the special counsel report released Monday that deeply documents years of systemic FBI corruption in favor of the Democratic Party. That report reveals and adds detail to multiple instances in which FBI employees used high-level intelligence and law enforcement positions to promote misinformation that affected at least 2 presidential elections, always on behalf of Democrats. Special Counsel John Durham's report lists and compares multiple such instances to illustrate systemic problems that are difficult to explain, as many more have been uncovered in the past few years. This information, key to Americans' oversight of their government through free and fair elections, has been blacked out on corporate media airwaves, of course, and censored by online private grantees and social media companies obeying funding conditions and threats from federal officials, because they don't want you to know about it. So, let's go into those 6 things. Number 1. This is weaponizing Democrat Party misinformation developed with probable foreign spies. That's always a good thing to see. So, it says, it just so happens that the false information the FBI used to immediately, I'm going to start that over because apparently I cannot read today. It says, it just so happens that the false information the FBI used to immediately open a spy operation on Democrats' opposition was developed by the Democrat presidential campaign in conjunction with at least 2 potential or allegedly former foreign spies. And Joy Pullman embedded tweet, yeah, that's her that wrote the article, okay. She wrote, Danchenko, and that's from the Russian collusion thing, is the guy who may be a Russian spy. Your tax dollars at work funding disinformation helps the Democratic Party. And Technofog, who I believe is actually a lawyer, says the FBI paid Steele primary subsource Igor Danchenko a total of $220,000. That the FBI, after it learned Danchenko lied to them, and during the Durham investigation, proposed future payments of $300,000. So they knew that he lied, but they're going to keep paying him. Those payments that would have kept Danchenko under wraps. Lovely. According to the Durham report, top FBI, DOJ, and CIA officials, as well as President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, you might recognize that name as a guy that's actually the president now, says we're told within days of its receipt that the Hillary Clinton campaign had developed a plan to vilify Trump by tying him to Vladimir Putin so as to divert attention from her own concerns relating to her use of a private email server, which apparently she's never going to be charged for, even though she did commit actual crimes. But, you know, hey, she's on that side, so everything is cool. And if anybody on our side did anything like that, well, they'd be rotting in prison right now. So CIA Director John Brennan, who is an evil human being, by the way, briefed President Obama, Biden, FBI Director James Comey, who's just an idiot, and Attorney General Loretta Lynch on this intelligence on August 3rd, 2016. A few days after Clinton's campaign developed the plan, and the CIA reportedly got this info about Clinton's smear plan from its surveillance of Russian intelligence. And this means that, in the summer of 2016, the FBI and DOJ and the head of the Democrat Party knew that the Steele dossier, Alpha Bank allegations, and other claims of Donald Trump being a traitorous Russian stooge were part of a political effort to smear a political opponent and to use the resources of the federal government's law enforcement and intelligence agencies in support of a political objective. So this should have gotten the FBI to question its Crossfire Hurricane operation, Durham's report says. Instead, however, the FBI raced ahead, with FBI headquarters demanding faster pursuit of Trump under what they knew were false pretenses. I love that. So the guy didn't do anything wrong. Nope. Let's get him harder. Okay. Does the FBI's actions indicated a clear double standard for Republicans and Democrats, the report shows. Unlike the FBI's opening of a full investigation of unknown members of the Trump campaign based on raw, uncorroborated information, in this separate matter involving a purported Clinton campaign plan, the FBI never opened any type of inquiry, issued any taskings, employed any analytical personnel, or produced any analytical products in connection with the information, notes the Durham report. So this guy, let's go get him harder. Okay. Do we have anything to prove that? No. Any data? No, nothing. All right. Let's keep getting him harder. The report says that the Clinton campaign knowingly supplied this false information to the government. That's a criminal offense. That's 100% correct. Durham claims his team was unable to establish this criminal intent, but it's obvious it existed, even if it can't be established with emails and voice recordings. Excuse me. So John Daniel Davidson, who I believe writes for The Federalist, embedded tweet here says, the Durham report is damning. It shows the FBI operation as a disinformation shop for the Clinton campaign, ignoring its own rules and blatantly and maliciously interfering in a presidential election. The Steele dossier was fake, and the FBI knew it all along. So, article continues, again, months before the press started stampeding false claims of Russian collusion into 3 impeachment attempts that strangled Trump's ability to wield the power voters had given him, the heads of U.S. intelligence agencies, the sitting president, and the head of the Democratic Party, the Democrats' next president, were aware it was a political disinformation operation with no basis in fact. The head of that same FBI that ran a multi-year spy operation against Trump based on this claim knew it was politically motivated disinformation before the lie even got its boots on. And this goes far beyond agency bias. It is the complete corruption of half of the nation's political party system and its federal law enforcement. It is the systematic disenfranchisement of Americans who don't agree with the national security blob. That's a good term for that. I like that. Or wouldn't if that blob allowed them to learn true facts about its evil machinations. It is the systemic weaponization of the U.S. national security apparatus against constitutional self-government. It is the end of government of the people, by the people, and for the people in the United States of America. And that's a really scary thought when you think about it. So that's what the Durham report shows. Anyone who doesn't treat this as a 5-alarm fire set by saboteurs is helping fan the flames. Part 2. Protecting Democrats' POTUS pick while slandering Republicans' POTUS pick. Several times the Durham report notes that FBI and Department of Justice officials treated the Clinton and Trump campaigns completely differently. Another notable way was in regard to potential contacts with agents from foreign governments. When the feds learned of a foreign influence operation seeking to target Hillary Clinton, they gave her campaign what is called a defensive briefing. That means that they warned the campaign about potential for undue foreign influence. When the feds learned that a foreign influence operation might be seeking to target Trump, they warned almost everyone except the Trump campaign. And the FBI, DOJ, and CIA not only gave Trump's campaign no defensive briefings on such potential threats, the report says, these agencies used the threats as an excuse to surveil Trump's campaign and boost Clinton's disinformation operation linking Trump to Russia in the press. The speed with which surveillance of a U.S. person associated with Trump's campaign was authorized are difficult to explain compared to the FBI's and the Justice Department's actions nearly 2 years earlier when confronted with corroborated allegations of attempted foreign influence involving Clinton, who at the time was still an undeclared candidate for the presidency, says the report on pages 73 and 74. So Hillary was in charge of this whole thing. It was all projection from her. She's the one that came out and said the Russian thing, and it all began there. Someone explained to me why this woman should not be rotting in like the worst prison in the country right now. I'd like to hear an explanation about that. Not just because of this, but because of, the server thing and then adding this in. Like, she's just not a decent human being even a little bit. Number 3, dismissing foreign funds transfers for Clinton, not for Trump. Says in contrast to the Bureau's full-scale rush to use its powers to smear Republicans with known falsehoods, the report shows that when the FBI knew the Democrat presidential campaign might be violating federal law, the FBI stood down. When an informant told the FBI the Clinton campaign was likely accepting illegal foreign campaign contributions, the FBI told the informant to drop it and did nothing further. Here's a crime. Nah. Oh, it's just someone that we like. Yeah, we're not just going to do anything. So, Technofog, another embedded tweet here, says, starting down here, it says, according to an FBI, CHS, and confidential informant, I think that is, or confidential something, in early 2016, the Clinton campaign was fully aware of and okay with a foreign contribution in violation of federal law. So the FBI agent didn't get receipts. He asked the source to stay away from the Clinton campaign. And this Crossfire Hurricane was opened as a full investigation, yet days after it was opened, Peter Strzok was essentially telling a London FBI employee that there's nothing to this. Okay. Once again, the investigative actions taken by the FBI headquarters and the Clinton Foundation matters contrast those with those taken in Crossfire Hurricane, says Durham's report. As an initial matter, the New York FBI New York field office, that's what that is. Okay, so the FBI New York field office and the Washington field office investigations appear to have been opened as preliminary investigations due to the political sensitivity and their reliance on unvetted hearsay information like the Clinton cash book and CHS reporting. By contrast, the Crossfire Hurricane investigation was immediately opened as a full investigation despite the fact that it was similarly predicated on unvetting hearsay information. Another double standard was revealed in this contrasting FBI treatment of different political parties. Furthermore, while the department appears to have had legitimate concerns about the Foundation investigation occurring so close to a presidential election, it does not appear that similar concerns were expressed by the Justice Department or FBI regarding the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Wonderful. Number 4, putting powerful Democrats above the law. So we know this has been going on for a long time. So this section says, we already knew from the years the Federalist has spent unraveling Spygate that the former FBI Counterintelligence Division Deputy Assistant Director, that's a hell of a title, Peter Strzok and his mistress, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's staff lawyer Lisa Page, weaponized their government positions to interfere in the U.S. presidential election. That's called treason. Put them in jail. Says these are the two who famously texted that they'd stop Trump from becoming president. Good job at that, guys. You did so well. So well that he became president. Says Durham's report shows multiple instances of McCabe, Strzok, Page, and their superiors wielding federal law enforcement positions as weapons against Republicans. The Durham report contains more evidence that high-level federal intelligence officials see it as routine to put powerful Democrats above the law. Besides the disparate treatment outlined above in many other such instances, Durham's report includes a telling exchange between Strzok and Page. It shows them deciding not to apply the law to Hillary Clinton because of her powerful position. It seems that the powerful are indeed above the law in the United States, provided they're affiliated with the Democrat Party. So, embedded tweet from the author of this article here. It says, the report makes it clear that the DOJ and FBI officials are afraid of Democrat retribution, but not of Republicans. Well, we need to make them afraid of that now. See the exchange between FBI's McCabe and Page. So that would be here. Well, I'm not going to click on it right now, though. And she also wrote, if Republican office holders read this report and don't get the knives out for the FBI, they deserve to keep losing elections. That is correct. Numero 5, number 5, refusing interviews with the special counsel. So it says key FBI figures refused interviews with Durham's team, including Comey, Strzok, the Clinton campaign's Mark Elias. Go look up that guy. He's also another douche nozzle of epic proportions. McCabe, Page, and Glenn Simpson of the opposition research firm that cooked up the Steele dossier for Clinton's campaign. Why would you do that, guys? Do you have something to hide? I wonder. Add that to the many instances of former FBI and CIA figures being employed in social media companies to assist with government censorship demands and going on TV to fuel the Russiagate hoax and other lies to Americans about crucial public issues. It adds up to yet another indication of an intelligence state using its vast and unconstitutional powers on behalf of the Democratic Party. And the author here wrote, in regards to this video here, this Figliuzzi guy who's on MSNBC, he's a former FBI person. He's another just complete, leftist moron. He says, once respected John Durham was weaponized by Bill Barr to produce politically tainted document for Trump's campaign. So this is the line that they're all going with now on the left, is just that this document is, it's invalid. It doesn't, and then Joy Pullman wrote, oh, look, another FBI counterintelligence division guy, that's that Figliuzzi, smearing the Durham report that outed his former department, acting like he's still working for the FBI. And she wrote up here, basically kind of the same thing. All right. And Stephen McIntyre, I don't know who he is, but he wrote, Comey declined to be interviewed, so why didn't Durham subpoena Comey? What a travesty. He said, and then he responded to the same tweet that Joey Pullman did. Said, oh, look, another FBI counterintelligence division guy smearing the Durham report that out is from a trial. Oh, wait, is that the one that's up here? Did I misread that? Or right here? Oh, no, they copied each other's tweets. Did I go too far? I went too far up. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. All right, so his other audit, because I was like, I know this other thing, says this neatly summarizes Durham's ineffectiveness. He gave Klein-Smith a sweetheart deal without getting cooperation, compared to Mueller keeping Gates and others on a string, hopeless. All right, so sorry about that little goof there. So number 6, refusing to obey congressional subpoenas about records on Biden corruption. Since Durham's report indicates that the FBI had repeatedly sat on evidence that the Clinton campaign was accepting bribes. Oh, nice. I did not know about that. It says payments in exchange for policy preferences. The FBI is still doing that with Joe Biden. According to several high-level members of Congress, the FBI has been refusing to release them subpoenaed non-classified information about how it handled documentation alleging that Biden and also traded political favors for campaign donations. So the FBI is corrupt as hell. I mean, that's the conclusion I'm coming to now. It says, we know the FBI relied on unverified claims to relentlessly target a Republican president. What did the FBI do to investigate claims involving a Democrat president? Asked Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa. It says, numerous private and congressional watchdogs have documented that the Biden family has received millions of dollars from foreign individuals and companies connected to hostile governments, including Communist China. Says, we believe the FBI possesses an unclassified internal document that includes very serious and detailed allegations implicating the current president of the United States, Grassley said in a press release earlier this month. What we don't know is what, if anything, the FBI has done to verify these claims or investigate further. Probably nothing. Says, congressional subpoenas have the force of law. Says, federal agencies operate at the discretion and funding of Congress, according to the Constitution. Says, the FBI's leadership doesn't seem to believe, however, that constitutional checks and balances apply to them. So long as Congress doesn't enforce its own prerogatives, the FBI's corrupt leaders are right. And then Mark Hemingway says, Durham report concludes the FBI had evidence the Steele dossier could have been sourced to Russian disinformation and didn't disclose this fact to keep getting warrants to spy on Trump. And then someone with the name Political Sock says some stuff here that's a bigger tweet. So let's keep going with the article just to finish it up. It says, it's been publicly known for decades that the FBI uses its surveillance, investigatory, and other law enforcement powers to manipulate American politics. Recall its surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr. and infamous FBI head J. Edgar Hoover's spying on the Supreme Court, Congress, and presidents. I need to read about that. I mean, I'd heard about it, but that sounds interesting. I'd like to read more about that somewhere. As the Durham report is, in that respect, nothing new. What would be new would be punishing the FBI's use of blackmail, smear operations, threats, censorship, illegal spying, and election rigging. If that doesn't happen, the United States is quite simply not a free country anymore. That is correct. And yeah, let's salt the earth with the FBI. I have no problem with that. Get rid of it. Like I said, I think at the very beginning, do to the FBI what Rome did to Carthage. The FBI being Carthage. So let me know what you guys think about this and all the stuff that's gone on with the Durham report and what you're hearing about the FBI corruption. And do that in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.